It was Christmas Eve, and the small mountain town of Frost Hollow lay blanketed in a thick layer of snow. The streets were silent, save for the occasional carol drifting from the windows of cozy homes. Twinkling lights adorned every house, and a massive pine tree stood in the town square, its ornaments gleaming in the moonlight. Everyone was indoors, sipping hot cocoa and wrapping last-minute gifts. Everyone, except for Clara. Clara had been driving up from the city to surprise her family when a blizzard descended without warning. Her GPS lost signal, and she found herself on a winding road she didn't recognize. The headlights illuminated an old wooden sign, "Welcome to Frost Hollow." She breathed a sigh of relief. A town meant warmth, safety, and directions. She parked in front of a dimly lit diner. It seemed out of place, the paint peeling and the neon open sign flickering erratically. When she stepped inside, the air was thick, people with the scent of burnt coffee and something metallic. "Hello," she called out. The diner was empty, yet a jukebox in the corner hummed faintly, stuck on a single verse of Silent Night. The melody warped, the once familiar tune sounding eerie and off-key. A figure emerged from the back, a tall man in a greasy apron. His smile was too wide, his teeth unnaturally white. "Lost?" he asked, his voice too cheerful. "Yeah, my car. I got caught in the storm," Clara stammered. "Can you tell me how to get back to the highway?" The man's smile faltered for just a second before he gestured to a booth. "Sit. I'll make you something hot. Storm's too fierce to drive in now." Clara hesitated but nodded, sitting at the booth closest to the door. The man disappeared into the kitchen, the swinging door creaking ominously behind him. As she waited, Clara glanced around. The diner was decorated for Christmas, but the details felt wrong. The garlands were wilted, the ornaments rusted, and the Santa figurine on the counter had hollow eyes that seemed to follow her. A loud thud came from the kitchen. Then another. "Sir," Clara called out, standing up. The jukebox skipped again, this time emitting a distorted crackle. The kitchen door swung open. The man was gone, but in his place stood a little girl in a tattered red dress. Her blonde hair was tangled, her feet bare despite the snowstorm. "Don't stay," the girl whispered. Her voice was raspy, as if unused for years. Clara took a step back. "Where's the man who?" The girl pointed to the window. Outside, the snow swirled, but something moved within its shadows that didn't belong to the trees or the wind. They circled the diner, growing darker and closer. "What is this place?" Clara's voice shook. "Frost Hollow," the girl said, her eyes wide with terror. "It only appears on Christmas Eve. You have to leave before midnight, or..." A deafening howl pierced the air, cutting off the girl's words. The shadows outside pressed against the glass, their forms now distinct. They weren't human, too many limbs, faces stretched into grotesque grins. The girl vanished before Clara's eyes, leaving only a faint outline of frost on the floor. Panicking, Clara ran to the door, but it wouldn't budge. The windows were fogged over, and the shadows clawed at the glass, leaving deep, jagged scratches. Behind her, the jukebox clicked off, silence. Then a deep voice echoed through the diner, slow and deliberate. "Silent night, holy night," Clara turned. The man was back, but his face was wrong. His eyes glowed a sickly yellow, his mouth stretched impossibly wide, and his apron dripped with something thick and dark. She screamed and bolted for the back door, her heart hammering. She burst into the kitchen and found herself face to face with the girl again. "They're coming," the girl whispered. "You can't escape, not now." Clara turned to run, but the girl grabbed her arm. Her touch was ice cold. The only way out is to join them. The shadows crashed through the diner's front, filling the air with a deafening roar. The last thing Clara saw was the girl's hollow eyes, and then darkness swallowed her whole. The next morning, Frost Hollow was gone, the diner reduced to a crumbling ruin. A lone police officer stumbled upon Clara's car, its doors open, her belongings scattered in the snow. On the cracked jukebox inside the diner, a single phrase played on loop. "All is calm, all is bright, but nothing ever was."